Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to the shed again. We're not quite sure what week lockdown it is. We've all lost count a little bit. But we're going to do some stuff with grow bags this week. We're doing that because a bit like the craft bags that we gave you a few weeks ago, you are all going to get one of these and some bags of seeds to grow things with. So we thought we'd just go through how to plant things, that kind of stuff, and how to bring on seeds. So first of all, it's important to add that these grow bags were provided to us by the Voluntary Sector Emergency Fund for Conway, and they're administered by CVSC, and they kindly gave us some money so that our young people and beyond can each have a grow bag, some seeds, and to give you some more things to do at home. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the grow bag itself. It's going to look like that. You kind of leave it like this really. You don't need to take anything out of the bag, you don't need to take the soil out, put it into anything else. It's fine as it is. Some usually have perforated edges, so you can just pull it back, but this one hasn't got them, so we're going to do that now. And we just want really a run in the middle. Something like that. Now you can see in here we've got really good, really nice, really dark fertilised soil. You can see how lovely and dark that is. It's very peaty. It's very, very good to grow things in. So what we also have is some seeds, wherever my seeds are, they're here. So here we've got some tomato seeds. It's a bit late in the year to be bringing on tomatoes, but we'll give you a very brief introduction about how to bring those on. So you would get one small seed like this, and there are two ways to do that. You would either put it into the soil, and you can just do that by putting it just in, probably about an inch down, and then just drop that in and cover it over. Make sure you always water it. You have to water it because it's the moisture that cracks the outside of the seed, and then inside what's to grow can then come out. But without water and moisture and sunlight, it won't do its thing. So it's important you put a lot of water in. The other way to do it is to do it on your windowsill, and you might have done it at school and just get a little bit of cotton buds, whatever, and then you make that wet, and then you put your seed on that and you put it in the windowsill, and after about 3 or 4 days you'll begin to see a very small green shoot come out of that, and then you let that go on a little bit more, and then you would plant that, so you'd have the small shoot sticking out above the soil. So as I said, with tomatoes, you should have planted those back a little bit really. So what we've got are some tomato plants that are already what's called brought on. So we've already brought these on. And these are, I'm going to give you a little bit of talk about these tomato plants first. They don't take long to get to this point, they only take about 4 weeks really. It's better, we think that we've got enough of these to give one to all of you. We went to the veg shop on Abergele High Street today to go and buy some to do this video. And the veg shop very kindly has given us enough for each one of you. So you will all get not only a grow bag and some seeds, but you will also get a tomato plant. Now on tomatoes, it's very interesting, we just spend a minute talking about those, because when they come on, you'll notice that there are some leaves that don't seem to do anything and ones that seem to do everything. And that's because on tomato plants you will have male and female shoots. And if I just turn that around slowly there, you'll see on the stem, you get this shoot coming off here. So you get these big leaves here, but then what you're really looking for are the ones that come out of those bits here. So here you can see it coming here. Do you see that? Yeah, and a little one there. These are the ones that are going to give you tomatoes. So some people, when they're growing these, they prune them and they'll cut off that bit, like that. And like that, you can just pinch it off, because you don't want any wasted energy going onto that. You want it all going into the tomatoes. However, what you don't want to have is just one spindly tomato plant with all the male leaves taken off. So you need to leave some for shade and some for the posterity of the plant. But the tomatoes are going to come off of these female ones here. And when that comes on a little bit, what they'll do is they'll begin to flower. Now each flower on a tomato plant becomes a tomato. And when you get that green bit on the end of your tomato, a bit like this, yeah, that is effectively the bottom end of that flower. So each flower will become a tomato. So it gives you an idea about how many tomatoes you're going to get from each plant. So to plant these, you take them out the bottom like this. It's always important because they're very compact at the bottom. All the roots are held together. You don't want to break it apart too much, but you just give it a gentle open like so that the roots have got time to grow, I should say. Then we just dig a bit like that. All the way down to the bottom. What you might want to do in these bags, by the way, is they are very, very compact. They'll be fine, but it might be worth your while before you open the bag, just give it a bit of a shake, loosen the soil up a bit so it's like that. So let's just dig these in, like that, and then pop that one in there, push it down, and then put that one over the top. Don't worry if you've got a lot of loose soil on top, that's good, that's how it's supposed to be. And then of course, as I said, there we are, a bit of water in the bottom there. And you really want to water those about once a day if it hasn't rained. Don't water them in the day, always water them in the evening after about 6 o'clock. And that's quite nice and damp, that there now. You don't want it to go nice and dry. You can see how rich and lovely and moist this soil is. You don't want it to dry out, so you want to keep it like that. And then we would just do the same with that on this side. So in one of these, you'll probably find you can get 3 or 4, to be honest with you, but they grow very, very big. When you place them outside your home, make sure they're south-facing because you want to get as much light as you can on them, and the more light you get on them, the better your crop will be. Again, just open that up. There we go. Pull that out. Open up the bottom. You see how these roots are all sort of compact? You want those to come out, but really open them up a little bit. Give them space to breathe. Push them down. Loosen that over the top. And like so. Now these ones are quite big. And what I'd be doing at home now is I'd be getting some canes, and you put in some canes behind them, and then you can just begin to string these to the canes so they stand up a bit straighter. You might want to have your canes like so, like a V shape like that. But these will begin to grow up the cane, and they're nice and firm, and it just helps the tomatoes grow on a bit better. So that's how you grow tomatoes, and then what you'll end up with, hopefully, is something that looks a bit like that. And what we're going to do with that now is show you how to make some tomato soup. So I'm just going to put this away, wash my hands, wipe down the side, and then we'll crack on with that.